unbelievable thing. You're an artistic genius. No matter what people say.
Welcome everybody. I'm setting up my camera here. Oh, just give me a minute. So that way you can get me and John in there. Welcome to interview number 2 with John Holladay. Say hi, John.
Interviewer number 2 from the One Heartbeat in the Sacred Sunday Circles.
If I can only get my camera to stay up. There we go. Ha! There we go. We'll watch it later. Hey guys, welcome. Sitting here with interview number 2. You know what? Let me get my notes here. So, how you guys doing? The camera's real far away, but I have it zoomed in, so I hope you guys can see us. So, I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook, I just posted our first interview that we did, what was it, 2 years ago? Turns out it was 2 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago.
Catch COVID.
Yeah, it was right after COVID. Actually, I have it written down as April 17th of 2021. So hopefully you guys can hear us, and welcome. I'm Amber with Helping the Good People, here with John Holladay, the president of One Heartbeat. So, to start off, I want to know, who are you?
Well, I'm John Holladay. I was born in Tucson, October 6, 1950. Come from a huge family all around the world. And I grew up with a dad that was in construction, a hard-working lifestyle. And I didn't choose the congas, they chose me.
That's a good way to put it.
The music just came to me and I had to go do it. And when I started out, I was really bad.
Aren't we all?
But I loved it so much. I've just followed. The rest of it is following where the drum led me. And the drum led me to Black Man Clay. First time I ever met him, we jammed together. And it's gone on for 40 years now.
Has it been 40 years?
It's almost 40 years. I met him in '78. You know, the actual name of the band was maybe about 83 but sometime in that period. But we were still doing the same thing.
Right.
So, you know, I met even Indio back there at the park.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He was a lot more surly back then.
Indio?
Yeah, but he was a great musician.
Yeah. It's so funny how we cycle in and out of each other's lives. You know, we could go like 20 years without seeing each other, and then the good ones, when they come back together, they seem to, as if they never left. You know?
The One Heartbeat is like seeing an old friend you haven't seen for years, and the minute you see him, your eyes light up and you smile. Because you know, hey, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to have a good time.
So, the reason why I wanted to do video number 2 with John is because not only do I find his story intriguing, but I also love what the One Heartbeat stands for. And the fact that he is still carrying on the tradition with every other member, like Larry Loud.
Yes.
We've got Marvin Wooten and Jim and Kim.
Yes.
And who else? Who are some of the top people that
Well,
are always there when we play music?
Well, for a long time it was Indio. He hasn't been around lately, but there's, of course, there's Gerard.
Gerard.
Yes,
He
Gerard.
can only make it out once in a while.
But when he does, he brings a saxophone and drums, and he takes it to another level. And
who else right off the top of the bat that you can think of?
well, now we got
that's
Marshall Edwards on cowbell all the time from the Harmony Punks. He gets a while to break with us.
Does he come out to Tribal Thursday?
Yes, he can't control. He plays there. He can't control himself. You know, he's waiting for his band to get set up, and then he just comes out and joins us. So
another one I recently saw, which I haven't officially met yet, is Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni, yeah.
He's been showing his face around Tribal a lot, and man, there's so many people involved with the One Heartbeat. It's hard to keep up with who is actually involved, which leads me to my next question, which is, how long? You said about 40 years, going on 40 years of playing. Would you say that One Heartbeat is a local thing, or is it a worldwide community thing that is expressed throughout different states, different cultures? I mean, how would you describe the One Heartbeat?
It's more of a Tucson band, but we do have, we got friends over there in Zimbabwe and stuff to keep track of our stuff. So
What about like California? I saw some stuff up
yes,
there.
and Stella De La Rossi is now preaching our stuff over there. She's the one. She gets a hold of Giovanni from San Francisco, and tells him, "Hey, they're playing out there. You need to go back out there." She's the one that told him about Tribal Thursday from San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it is pretty worldwide. Plus, considering my family sees it and
Right.
all over the place, yeah.
Well, I remember when we got involved with Sandra officially with the nonprofit One Heartbeat page, everything that she did online. That's when I got my eyes open to how many people were actually involved with the One Heartbeat and how far it expanded. Now, would you say that anyone is welcome into the One Heartbeat?
Yes.
Yes. Didn't even have to hesitate on that one.
Yes. Anyone is welcome.
So what else would you like to say about who you are?
Well,
Is there anything else you want anyone to specifically know about yourself?
yes. They need to know that I believe in the principles of Christ, but I don't believe in any one religious sect or group. And I also believe, it's from my family line, the Celtic, everything. I'm pretty much a tree hugger. I worship trees, and I've planted a lot of them.
And he eats a lot of plants.
And I eat plants, whenever I can. And I learned that from my dad. And I've always been outdoors and in nature, and there's something about drumming outside that's pretty magical.
Yeah, we've proven that over the last 3.5 years of playing at Reed Park.
And
That's for sure.
Yeah, and I feel kind of slow because I grew up in Tucson and cruised Reed Park back in the day. And it takes Amber to show me, hey, look at this tree by the duck pond. It's heaven over here. So it takes until 2020 when the light goes on in my brain. Whoa! I've been there a million times and never paid attention.
Sometimes we have to stop and pay attention.
It's
to
a
the little
beautiful
things.
spot over there. It's one of the best spots in Tucson. The land was all donated by the Randolph family, so the city never paid for any of it. So it's really imperative that we keep our open spaces and our trees and stuff, and they don't tear any of our water features and ponds up, and that they maintain them. And that's another thing. One Heartbeat has, and Sacred Tended Circles, we were standing at that tree having a conversation. If we go to jail, who's going to contact?
And I'm over here going, let them come.
And the tree is still there, so
Yes.
that's my political speech for today.
And that leads me on to what we're really doing this about, which is the history of the One Heartbeat and also about Black Man Clay. You sent me a link this morning about the stories about Black Man Clay, and it made me think of doing interview number 2, so here we are. So, how did you meet Black Man Clay officially?
I officially met Black Man Clay. My brother and I were driving down the street. We had our drums in a truck. Something else we did the night before. In a big old flatbed GMC. And we see a guy out in a field over by South Point who is serenading the plants with a flute. And has a big pile of landscaping. And we're going, that guy's jamming out over there. So my brother just kind of pulled into the lot and said, hey, what's up? He goes, hey, how you doing? I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm playing the flute for these oleanders before I trim them. He goes, well, I said, we got some drums in the truck. You want to jam? He goes, that's a great idea. So we sat there and had a jam right in the middle of the field.
Wow.
And that's how we met Black Man Clay. And after that, it was one thing lead to another, and we say we're going to go jam at the street fair, and he shows up, and next thing you know, we blocked the whole street off, get the police called on us. We had drummers and hippies, and it just kept going. And then every time he had a party, and after a while, we had a party every week at somebody's house. People would play, they would bring food, and we ended up going to, of course, all of our kids, my kids and his kids. They might have been embarrassed sometimes, but we came to their schools, Everyone's going, God, look at those crazy hippies and that wild Rastafarian guy with the flutes in his nose,
Kind of mixed races.
We had everybody in the group.
Right. Which also goes to show that we don't judge
That's right. And
by the color of their skin, let alone their religion or background.
And you know, Black Man Clay was the player coach for the Davis Montana Air Force Base when he was in the military. He served in Vietnam. I mean, the guy could get along with anybody, and
so you would say he's an inspiration.
He's an inspiration, and I have a weak spot for partying and dancing around. So every place we go at Clay, we know. Watch what he does in here. You walk into a place that's dead. Next thing you know, everyone's going crazy and jumping around and having a good time.
Uh-huh.
And you know, some bar owners at first didn't like it, and then they realized, hey, this guy's bringing 25 people. I think it's kind of cool.
Right.
And then he would show up everywhere. I think he caused them to have a 2-drink minimum or something over at one bar, because the guy goes, well, I'm not selling any alcohol. It's just a bunch of hippies smoking up out there. He brought in a whole entire crowd the guy never expected, you know.
So you were saying in the first interview, because we watched it today, I wanted to clarify what we talked about exactly 2 years ago. But I remember you made a comment about how Black Man Clay was the second person that you met, or the first person that you met since your father passed away.
Yeah.
And he kind of took you under his wing and you looked up to him.
He's, you know, whether I learn something, I have to learn something from someone I respect. I'm very rebellious. I don't listen to people. Just as you give an order, I'll
That's
be
the Libra.
I'm not, you know.
Libra in us.
Yes, I've been fired from hundreds
we
of
mean
jobs.
well.
Hundreds of jobs. Sometimes they hired me back for more money, but I wouldn't keep my mouth shut. But I respected Black Man Clay, and my dad was a hard worker, and then I saw how hard he worked. And then he still was able to give to the community and party, and he took great care of his family, and he was kind, and
a lot of great qualities
and
there.
great qualities, plus the music, and we shared it. We loved reggae music. You know, any place, we're always showing up at the same place.
Right.
It's just how it worked out.
Kind of like how things are over at Reed Park, or even when we go to Tribal.
Yes.
I always say that the music that we're playing for the day, wherever we are, is meant for the hearer. It's meant for whomever walks in, right?
Right, and that's
it's open to everybody, and you never know who's going to show up or who's going to hear us.
And that's exactly the feeling that he showed us how to get. You know, we had little drumming or whatever, but it never was quite. And Clay said, let's take it to the next level.
Right.
Let's get 100 people over here. Let's get a band. You know, we had his birthday party with Neon Prophet. I mean,
what can you ask for that's better than that?
Right, and there's still people.
Music and family.
Yep, and there's still people showing up at all the events, and his family, different people. And the first thing that we talk about is,
what is one of your favorite memories that you have?
My favorite memories of him?
One of your favorite memories that you have.
Yes.
Just the whole experience from the time you met him until, you know, he passed away. You know, can you think of anything that stands out at you that you remember?
We were at the Quincy Douglas Recreational Center back in the day, and we were doing a thing for violent youth and whatever guys, and they giving them a little party, and they somehow they got the one heartbeat. The guy knew Clay as another, and so we go to this event. I'm bringing the drums in, and it's me and my friend Jeff, you know, and these guys are looking at us like, what are these two white hippies doing in here? They're giving us a real scowl down, you know. The kids are like, we don't, you know.
Right.
We put our drums up. They're all looking at us. Black Man Clay comes in and goes, welcome to the experience. And starts dancing around. Next thing we know, these kids who are like tough, they're stealing our drums from us. They're playing. They're kids out on the basketball court that were looking in, and the girls that were a little too old. They barged in and had a giant party at Quincy Douglas, drumming out with some pretty hardcore kids. Then we ate hot dogs together and everything. And their counselor, he says, I haven't seen some of these kids smile in 2 years.
Wow.
And that's how Clay could do to a room.
Right.
Started playing his flute in each nostril and one in his mouth. They're like, what are you going to do, you know? And then...
That was a good visual.
And all those kids are looking at us, and after we had a great time, and they're looking at us, and we're looking at them, and they said, well, we won't tell if you won't tell. Because they let loose. They were dancing. They were just. It was beautiful.
I'm looking at my questions. Don't mind me while John's still talking.
Yeah.
I wrote down some, just like the first video, but we kind of just flowed through it. So I hope you guys are still here and laughing at home like I'm laughing, listening to these stories. I asked about if it was a local thing, and he answered that one. Let me ask you a question. If Black Man Clay were still here right now, what do you think he would say?
He would tell people to quit messing with each other. Don't be so angry, and celebrate a little more. You're living right now. Your life is not promised. Have a good time.
Love one another.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. It's like he believed in agape love, unconditional. He helped so many people. He would even say that, and he all believed in the one. He always said, we're all one. So we can't, if I hate you, then I'm hating myself.
Right. In other words, we're a mirror.
And he was raised in the country, and he worked. He's like, he had common sense. Well, I can't. If I hate you, I'm hating myself. That doesn't. I don't hate myself. And people can understand that. He every kind of people. We went to the mayor's office and played. And at first, they were a little bit skeptical, kind of loud and crazy. A couple of, big donators and beautiful women, elegant older ladies and everything. They jumped up and go, "This is wonderful! Start dancing!"
Right.
Well,
Got 'em up
there it
off
was.
the bus.
Mayor Rothschild goes, "You guys are in. That's there to go." And Beatus got us in there. I have to give a shout out to Beatus. He's a
I just saw him the other day.
great artist. He's been in the One Heartbeat a long time. Lately, he hasn't been as much, but
He's taking care of Himmel Park.
he's taking care of Himmel Park. Big props. That's his main focus in life. So don't be messing around over there, because Beatus is watching. But we played on the side of the railroad tracks for a bunch for homeless people at times, and at other times we were in the mayor's office.
Then I heard you were also playing at an art gallery.
Well, we played in an art gallery.
They
Yes.
showed me the little stage
Oh.
at that Racey's
Yeah.
2 on 6th. They said, "You see that little area right there? I remember when they were drumming on that thing."
Yes. And
It's like a little
we
tiny
played at the
stage.
Tucson Museum of Art.
Right?
Because once again, Beatus says, we need drums down here, and then he got to play and show his artist friends his other side,
Right.
because he's an accomplished percussionist. So you never know. What I always say, it's where the drum leads me. That's where it led me. I got my first drum. I think it was 1969. My friend came home from Vietnam, bought a conga, because it was like he wanted to be like Maynard G. Cribs, or what's the guy's name? He wanted to be a beatnik, but he got tired of it. It's a lot of work to play, so he sold it to me for a small amount. Let's put it that way. It was a trade. So, and I got my conga, and then I started playing it. And then next thing I know, I'm here in Santana, Tucson, Arizona. It's not like nobody plays it here.
Right.
And
Music heals the soul no matter where you're at. I could be walking down the street and hear music and just follow it. And boom, you run into some great people. And music is therapeutic, and it's healing, and it heals the world.
yes, and and it doesn't matter if you have to pay a cover charge or if you don't. But with us, we offer it. You don't have to bring anything. You could bring food, you could bring water, you could bring anything. You could bring a pair of bat wings. But I'm
gonna have to get some.
Yeah, we always try to make, even we have a lot of kids that play music with us at the park. They just run up and start grabbing it, and they're ready to go. And that's something that we share, and it's magic. It's face to face, and Clay was a master at that. We went to schools, and it just was off the hook.
Right.
Teachers they're really having a hard time letting 6 kids up and play at a time, because they all want to play, and then they're like going, and it's like some of them were getting up there and they're better than us. What do you guys listen to at home? We're saying they're going to take our jobs.
Right. Well, my next question then, which is, what are your dreams for the future of One Heartbeat? Do you have anything in mind that you want to see continue, or something that maybe you'd like to add to what you've already been doing? I know it's a community thing. Everybody's welcome. Say you come to Reed Park and they walk in, you don't have an instrument, they offer you one. But do you want to see One Heartbeat go further?
Yes.
Or what would you like to
My
focus
ultimate
on?
goal is to somehow get a building, or I don't care if it's a chain link fenced off lot, any place that we could, call our own and hold any kind of event or do whatever, or even a place that would let us do that on a regular basis, where we could play and involve people, you could teach kids, whatever, we could have all kinds of instruments, and that's what I would like to see, and that's what Sandra's concept was. And she still has that concept, but she's raising a family and all her things. She's in California, but that's still in my mind, and I'm still working toward that. And of course, the other thing is, got to pass it down. So
Going.
I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
So I want the next, Clay passed to me, so next generation. And I'm not worried about that, because we got people like Paul Steppen in the world. He might have,
yeah,
he's been in the One Heartbeat forever. Back in the day, he went to the mayor's office once too, But he's in Thailand though, so he might be having to open up the chapter over there.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like it looks like that girl. He's going to be with that girl, and he's having a great time.
Hi, Paul.
Shout out
if you're
to Paul.
Watching in Thailand.
Yes.
So that sounds like a pretty good image for the future. If you guys are visualists, try to
Yes.
envision that. Imagine starting your own little One Heartbeat at your nearest park, which I'm highly recommending to
That's
everyone.
a great idea. I don't care if you call it. In fact, if you start another group, just because we inspired you, that would be even better. Because we need drumming in every park in Tucson, for sure. People come. They hear us playing and they walk over there. We got a landscaping job because the lady hears us playing. The next thing you know, you know what I mean? She's
Started
going,
doing landscaping.
I just live right
years
across
ago,
the
yeah.
street there. She goes, oh, you hippies actually work? Yes. I said, yeah, we do. We do. We're only like just free on certain times. But yes, and we've met so many people just because of that. I had the lady at my insurance office, her little girl came and was drumming with the One Heartbeat, and they were having a snafu about my insurance when I got a new car, which I would have never got without Amber's help. And she goes, oh, my daughter loves your playing everything. She goes, I think I can change this. I'm like, wow, I got a perk from the One Heartbeat because we let all the kids come up and play, and she didn't forget that.
They actually asked for lessons too, and that's another thing that I could see with the One Heartbeat. Maybe you guys could, hit up John if you actually want to learn more about the drums. He's very open to teaching as well, and it's about our kids and it's about our future. We already know that us as adults, we're like little kids playing on the playground. You can't stop us from playing. You can't stop us from running around and jumping and singing and dancing and being goofy. I mean, how old are you now, John?
I'm 73.
73 years old, over 30 years older than me, and he's still got a lot of energy. This guy never stops. It's like he never sleeps. It's like he can wake up singing and dancing to music in his dreams, which is awesome because it's all about our kids. It's about the future.
That's right.
And I definitely want to focus more on the kids.
Yes, it's about the youth. It's like that's where it's going. And we had kids yesterday at the park, and grown kids that might scare you if you didn't know who their mom was. And the kid sat down with us and played the drum like he's been playing with us for 20 years.
Right.
And that's the thing about it. When you go and you take the music out, you never know which person that you're going to influence.
Right.
And if you influence one person to a better thing in life, that's all you can ask.
That is one thing that I love about not only music, but with my story and domestic violence, I found therapy in the music and in my art and doing that stuff. Can you imagine taking his music into, say, Big Brothers, Big Sisters? These kids, they had troubled lives, they're angry, they're pissed off, whatever. But instead of giving them an option to heal themselves or to work hard or to take care of themselves in certain ways, why don't you try handing them an instrument? Letting them take their anger out banging on the drum all day. Or
That's
how
right.
about taking them out and doing landscaping, but make sure you have music in the background, because you can take the toughest of kids and soften them up just by a little music. And that's what I love about what you do.
It's the universal.
Just show up with music.
It's the universal language, and that's why when you go to Tribal Thursday, you might have somebody that led the life of Mike Tyson sitting next to a rocket scientist, and they're all playing the drums and getting along.
Right.
It's amazing. I'm sitting there looking. Oh, it's an incredible combination. They're probably not going to be hanging out anywhere else.
Right.
And then they get to be friends, and it's like, guess what? They both learned something that they didn't think they could learn. You go, well, I can't learn from that dude or this guy or whatever. And then they play the drums, and they go, yeah, I can get along pretty good with you.
And we have a lot in common.
That's right. Humans, we all, I know we all had a mother. So, that's pretty common there. That's a great blessing. So, we're not that different. We are different, but we're not that different.
So what would you say about Black Man Clay's mission to bring music to the